You never imagined your girlfriend would cheat on you. You worked overtime, pushing through just to finish everything before Valentine's Day. You took the cheapest ride you could find to her city, planning to surprise her. But when you opened the door, what you saw stopped you cold. Your girlfriend was completely naked with your own friend. It hit you like a bolt from the blue. You just couldn't process it and ran out. Look at two people living in the same city, earning roughly the same income. Most people would still guess wrong about who is actually winning. One person has the version of adult life we are taught to envy: a neat, well-curated apartment, matching furniture, and a slightly newer car. The car has a monthly payment that seems completely harmless. By age 36, he has $11,000 saved. Saved, not spent. But that is not a wealth story. That is a silent emergency dressed in really good lighting. If he keeps following this path until 65, that $11,000 might grow to around $240,000. But comfortable retirement realistically requires about $1.2 million. Now put this image next to someone who doesn't look as polished. They are from the same generation with a similar income. They drive an older car and live in a smaller place. By 36, she has $78,000 in the bank, with an average annual return of 7%. By 65, it could grow to around $1 million. That is without even adding a single extra dollar. Same city, same era, same exact income range. This is the trap. Millennials are told to focus on being responsible, but that word has been quietly hijacked by the system. It's interpreted as paying bills on time and keeping life presentable, upgrading cautiously, choosing the right brands, staying employable, and appearing normal. But wealth doesn't favor you just because your apartment looks adult. Millennials were completely disadvantaged right from the very start. The average graduate starts their first job carrying $37,000 in loans. That's not a neutral starting point, it's a weight strapped to the starting line. Then you have to add the crushing housing costs. So when someone says millennials just need to want less and spend less, telling them to be satisfied often hides a much harsher truth. It masks structural pressure as a simple mindset problem, making it seem like the issue is a lack of mental toughness rather than math. Like if you just pinch every penny and skip small pleasures. If you compress your life, safety will magically appear. Social media just poured gasoline right on the fire. A generation grows up in a machine designed to make everyone's spending instantly visible. One trip becomes a benchmark, a kitchen remodel a referendum on your apartment. A leased car becomes the norm, and dining out becomes a status symbol. Here's the part people resist because it sounds so mundane it's dangerous. Nothing dramatic needs to happen for the results to be disastrous. No scams, no market crashes, no big mistakes, just daily exposure to other people's highlight reels. And normal slowly drifts away from basic arithmetic. The data is stark enough. Federal Reserve figures show the median retirement savings. For millennials, it is under $10,000, less than 10 grand. For the age range we are talking about, roughly 28 to 43. This isn't still figuring it out money, or slightly behind money. The pattern is almost always the same. Income hits the account. Fixed costs first: rent, minimum payments, bills, insurance, and transportation. Then monthly living unfolds with dining out and convenience purchases, subscriptions, socializing, small upgrades, momentary treats, never just once. If there's anything left at month's end, maybe a little gets saved. Here's the math, because that's where excuses start falling apart. Someone who begins investing $500 a month at 27, earning 7% average annual returns, will have roughly $1.1 million. Same contributions, same returns, but what if they start at 35? Around $590,000, which is about half. And it's not because late starters lack discipline. This is why pay yourself first is often misunderstood. It's not a motivational poster, not a catchy wall slogan, it's mechanical. Those who truly retire with wealth simply reverse the order. There's a second, subtler trap, disguised as wisdom. After 2008, a generation was culturally taught a new lesson. Material things won't make you happy, experiences will. True. And psychology research supports it. But that research doesn't say spending on experiences is harmless, especially at levels that completely block your retirement savings. Look at everyday life. A $2,000 credit card trip, it instantly costs $2,200 with interest. The photos are real, the memories are real. But on the balance sheet, nothing is built, no future income purchased, no ownership expanded, no ease added to tomorrow. Hard work alone can be dangerous. Many people grind, cut obvious luxuries, and tell themselves they're responsible. But the system doesn't reward abstract effort. It rewards things that grow while you sleep. If your financial life is just income in, bills out, you're working to enrich the toll takers. Landlords, lenders, credit card companies, platforms, they're all collecting. So two millennials with similar incomes, both looking stressed. They can have a financial gap as wide as a canyon. One treats every dollar as a tool to solve today's problems. The other sets rules ahead of time. Invest first, enjoy later. The same principle is crueler in market thinking. Many millennials don't distrust markets because they're dumb. They're scarred by 2008, and fear freezes you. You stop buying assets and just hoard cash. Cash at low interest isn't neutral, it quietly loses the race. $1 in a 2% savings account grows to $181. That takes 30 years to happen. The same dollar in a low-cost index fund at 7%. It quietly grows to $761. Same principle, same time, but the outcomes are worlds apart. This is the real class divide behind personal finance. Not cartoon wealth versus poverty, but asset holders versus perpetual payers. Even a small equity stake ties you to growth. Those who avoid ownership are tied only to labor and leftover balances. Inflation, rent hikes, medical costs, and daily expenses rise. The latter group is almost completely exposed. That's why advice to want less can feel insulting. For many, low spending isn't a philosophy, it's compressed life. Saying no at the grocery store, staring at the dentist bill, delaying prescriptions, pretending broken appliances last another month. Moralizing doesn't change the arithmetic. People usually misread it. They think suffer now, enjoy later. No, the commitment is smaller, colder, but more useful. If income is fragile, savings vanish after a major medical event, a sudden layoff, or a car transmission failure. The goal isn't disciplined life contraction. The goal is a system that gives choice, not fantasy, choice, shock absorption, not putting the next emergency on a credit card. So before your next raise disappears into a better apartment, a new car, or a few lifestyle upgrades, make a decision in advance. Decide what portion of any recurring raise will never enter living expenses. Write it down, not I'll try, not sounds reasonable, a number, fixed, enforced. Then automate it into accounts protecting the future. A 401k, Roth IRA, or both, before taxable investing. It's unglamorous, but long-term tax benefits alone are worth it. They won't appear in dopamine consumption but will change the endgame. If you're behind, hear this. Starting late doesn't mean game over. The first person in the story isn't a failure. He followed everyone else's adult default sequence. Earn more, upgrade a little, repeat. The second person wins, not by moral superiority or genius, but by taking a structural step at 27. $500 automatically moved each month, letting repetition do what motivation alone cannot. This is how most people actually build wealth quietly. Automatic, boring, resilient even when life is noisy. The goal isn't rich, that is too vague for most. The real goal is retirement accounts that are not embarrassing. Checking accounts not heart-racing at month's end. Medical bills painful but not bankrupting. Unemployment scary but survivable. Future time partially serving you rather than costing interest each time you seek relief. That's why 2 years matters more than it feels. In everyday life, 2 years seems trivial, but in compounding it's huge. It permanently reduces the contribution of future labor to your money. Another invisible invoice, another slice of future freedom sold early. This is compounding worth paying attention to. Not just account growth, but stress down, fear reduced, choices increased. If you're honest, what number or percentage would you lock in right before your next raise hits?